Okay, gotta admit, this deep dive kind of threw me for a loop at first.
Really?
Yeah, we're diving into this Bible study session all about Genesis.
Okay.
And the speaker's saying words aren't just, sounds. They're like these creative forces
Hmm.
straight out of the book of Genesis. Wild, right?
Yeah, he doesn't hold back, does he? He jumps right in with this personal story.
Yeah.
Yeah, about this time someone was yelling at him, being really angry, and it wasn't even the words themselves so much, it was more like a physical reaction he had.
Ooh, almost like they're like bad vibes were contagious or something.
Exactly, and he uses that to make this point. Even if we don't realize it, our bodies react to the energy behind words, not just what they literally mean.
Okay, I'm with you.
And that's where it gets kind of cool. He brings up neural pathways.
Wait, neural pathway.
Yeah, bear with me. He's basically saying our brains interpret meaning from words, and that triggers how our bodies react.
Hold on, you're gonna have to break that down for me. What are neural pathways again?
Okay, so picture like superhighways in your brain, right?
Yeah.
Every word, every phrase, it activates a certain pathway. The more you use them, those pathways, they get stronger, more ingrained.
So like if you're always hearing negative stuff, your brain's like hardwired for negativity.
Exactly. It's not just some vague feel-good thing. He's actually putting this in scientific terms, which I found super interesting.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
But then he goes from the brain to God creating the universe in Genesis.
Yeah, that's where he introduces this whole concept of framing.
Framing.
Yeah, he uses this Hebrew word, perphizomim, which basically means to frame something.
Like a picture frame?
Kind of. He's saying God didn't just, like, fling the universe together. There was this intentional framing, like an architect with a blueprint.
So perfectism, this is a direct translation, or is he like interpreting here?
It's more of a metaphor he's drawing from the Hebrew, but the point is, God's creation was planned, purposeful. It all started with words.
So is he saying we have that same power that we create with our words, just like God did?
That's definitely the implication he's making, and he uses examples. He brings up Noah after the flood, which is interesting.
Okay, yeah, the ark, all that. I'm familiar with this story, but how does that fit in?
So God makes this promise, this covenant, to never flood the earth again, right?
Right.
The rainbow's the symbol.
Right.
But then Noah, he gets drunk and ends up cursing his own grandson, Canaan.
Okay. Harsh. But what's that got to do with the power of words? I'm not following.
Well, the speaker's arguing that because God gave humanity dominion over the earth after the flood, even Noah's words, even though he was kind of messed up at the time, they had weight, like this creative power.
Wait, hold on. He's saying Noah's drunken curse had, like, real-world impact.
It's more nuanced than that. He's not saying it was a direct one-to-one thing, but he's pointing out that later on, the land where Canaan's descendants lived, that's the land God promises to Abraham.
No kidding. So it's like Noah's words somehow echoed through history.
It makes you think, right? And it gets even more interesting when he takes it back to Adam naming the animals in the Garden of Eden. Classic Genesis stuff.
Sure. But I'm drawing a blank. How does Adam naming animals tie into all this?
Well, he's saying it wasn't just a random, hey, you look like a giraffe, you're a hippo kind of thing.
Okay.
He's arguing it was an act of authority. By giving something a name, Adam was shaping how he understood the world, defining creation with language.
So it wasn't just labels. It was like exercising power.
Yeah.
The power God gave humanity.
Exactly. And that power, it's still in the words we speak today. That's what he's getting at. It's like that old saying, words are seeds, plant them carefully. But what I find fascinating is that the speaker doesn't shy away from the spiritual implications here. He connects this idea of words having power back to the very act of creation.
You mean how he was talking about God speaking the universe into being? It does make you wonder about the energy behind that, right?
Right.
It's one thing for us to try to manifest a parking spot, but speaking a whole universe into existence, that's a whole other level.
And he seems to be suggesting that we, as humans, created in God's image, have inherited a spark of that creative power. He doesn't dwell on it, but he hints at the idea that our words might even carry a sort of spiritual weight.
Okay, so that's where I start to get a little tripped up. Are we talking about some sort of mystical word magic here? We're just saying something makes it happen. Because that feels like a bit of a stretch.
He's careful to avoid that kind of simplistic interpretation. He's not saying it's about chanting affirmations and expecting miracles. It's more about recognizing that our words have the power to shape our thoughts, beliefs, and actions, which in turn influence our reality.
So it's not just about the words themselves, but the intention and energy behind them. Like if I'm constantly complaining and being negative, I'm creating this self-fulfilling prophecy of doom and gloom.
Precisely. He talks about how even casual negativity can be detrimental. It's like slowly poisoning the soil of your mind.
It reminds me of that study where they exposed plants to either positive or negative words. The ones bombarded with negativity actually withered. It's like our words have tangible impact, even on a cellular level.
That's a great example. It illustrates how, even on a subconscious level, words have the power to affect change. And the speaker takes it a step further, arguing that this power extends beyond our individual lives. He suggests our words can impact the people around us, even future generations.
It's like when someone tells you, you're so smart as a kid, and you carry that belief with you. Or the opposite, a cutting remark that erodes your confidence. Words have a long shelf life sometimes, but impacting future generations, that's a big claim.
He ties it back to the idea of legacy. Think about the stories we tell, the values we pass down through our words. Those narratives, those beliefs, they echo through time, shaping the worldviews of generations to come.
Wow, when you put it that way, it makes you realize the weight of our words, doesn't it? It's like
Yeah.
each one is a tiny brushstroke in the grand tapestry of history.
And the question he seems to be posing is, what kind of mark do we want to leave? Are we using our words to build up or to tear down, to inspire hope or to spread negativity?
Okay, so we're not just talking about being nice for the sake of being nice. This is about recognizing the profound responsibility we have as speakers. We're not just passive vessels of language. We're active participants in shaping reality with every word we choose.
That's a powerful way to put it. And it requires a level of awareness that many of us aren't used to. We often speak without thinking, letting our emotions dictate our words, not realizing the impact they can have.
I'm definitely guilty of that, especially when I'm tired or stressed. But this whole deep dive has me thinking, what if we approached our words with the same intentionality that an artist brings to their craft?
It's an intriguing thought, isn't it? Imagine the possibilities if we treated our words as the powerful tools they truly are.
It really makes you think about the possibilities, doesn't it?
Hmm.
If we really could harness that. I mean, imagine,
Right, and that's what he keeps coming back to. It's not about some outside force or waiting for good things to happen.
it's like, we have the power right here, right now, to kind of steer things.
Exactly. And it all starts with, just noticing what we're already saying to ourselves. That inner voice, is it building us up or...
Oh, you mean like, are we our own worst critics? Because, yeah, guilty is charged sometimes.
Totally. And he says a lot of it's unconscious, right? So we got to bring it into the light, challenge those negative thoughts.
It's like that saying, something about the mind being a great servant but a terrible master. We got to be in charge.
100%. He even suggests this little exercise.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like every morning, look in the mirror, say something positive about yourself.
See, I always thought that was kind of corny, but I get what he's saying.
Yeah, it might feel weird at first, but the idea is you're intentionally changing the script. Instead of focusing on flaw, you're creating new pathways in your brain, ones that lead to confidence and actually achieving your goals.
So it's like,
Yeah.
instead of, oh, I look tired, I got this, even if you don't quite believe it yet.
Exactly. And the more you do it, the more real it becomes. Our brains are amazing, like that they adapt. But it's not enough to just say the words, right?
Right, got to walk the walk, not just talk the talk.
Exactly. He's all about aligning our words with our actions, because the real power of words, it's in how they move us to change, to become better versions of ourselves and honestly make the world a better place while we're at it.
Man, this whole conversation's been eye-opening. I always thought I was pretty good with words, but this is next level stuff.
It really makes you think, right? Words aren't just these little sounds we make. They're powerful. They shape everything.
No kidding. So, as we wrap things up here, I got to ask, what will you choose to speak into existence?
It's a question we should all be asking ourselves every single day, because the world is listening.